Hey there, welcome. Wow, we're at episode 5. Can you believe it? All right, so we're talking Kingdom Dream Chasers about this idea around sales from a kingdom perspective. And I pray that you've gathered by now, this is more in depth than what you thought you were probably getting into when we got started. Why is that so? Because anything that we do with God, right? He wants us to go deeper. He wants us to get deeper awareness. He wants us to have a deeper heart relationship with Him so that we're experiencing His guidance and His love is what's pouring out of us. And He wants us to have a big heart for the women that we serve. And why is all of this so crucial? Because He knows what we're up against. All right. He knows the flesh cries out for comfort. He knows that we're dealing with discouragement and doubt and fear and worry, right? He knows all of those are the enemies, by the way. Those are the enemies trying to attack us on a daily basis. Fear, discouragement, doubt, worry, lack of faith. Who am I? Imposter syndrome, all the orphan mindset. Who am I? Well, girlfriend, you're a daughter of the king. And he wants you to rise up, long for success in your business, but success where you are seeking him first, loving and serving first, being wanting greatness because you want the kingdom of God to expand. You want to impact lives, you want to impact families, and you need that kind of fire of working with God in order to grow a kingdom business. Why? Because that's the way he planned it. He wants you to see his super on your natural. He wants you to see him bending time. And so when we talk about the sales process, I'm going to give you an example of a sales process and I'm going to simplify it intentionally. And then we're going to talk in much more detail next week about we will talk about the actual sales today, but we're going to talk about it in even more next week. So, what is the sales process? What is the sales process and what does that look like from a kingdom perspective? Okay. So, the first part of the sales process is probably not what you think. The first part of the sales process is you knowing the value that you're offering. If you don't know the value of your product, and I'm not talking about hype. Some of you have products and you've been conditioned in your companies, and I know this because I was there. I lived it. You've been taught to say things like, we're the best. We have. This kind of language that actually makes people not trust you. It is hype, and hype is short for hyperbole. It is expanding on the truth. There could be a kernel of truth in what you're saying, but you're embellishing in a way, trying to elevate your product's value in your customers' eyes. But the truth is, you're diminishing their trust in you. They want you to be trustworthy before they will buy. And this is a key thing that people don't grasp. Now, when we're selling from a kingdom perspective and we're talking about the sales process, you understanding the value of what you're offering is the first step. And it is crucial. Why? Because if you don't understand the value of what you carry, you will fall into prey into trying to hype and over amplify and be almost misleading at times. And please hear me. You're actually making so what we want to do in the sales process is we want to be bringing our customer or client closer to us, because the closer they get to us, that means the more likely they're going to listen, they're likely going to trust, and they're likely going to want what we have to offer. But if you're doing things that are hypey, salesy, you're actually moving her away from you. So you're thwarting your own efforts. You're working against yourself. All right. So the first step in the sales process is, do you really know the value of what you have? the value of what you carry. And some of you think I'm only talking about your products right now, and I'm not. Some of you also have, well, you. Do you know the value of you? Because you bring love and service to the customer. You're a kingdom entrepreneur. You bring love and service to the customer. Do you know how unique that is in the marketplace? I don't care if you're selling makeup, shampoo, clothes, doesn't matter what a 90-day coaching program, it doesn't matter what it is. She wants to walk along somebody that she can trust, that truly values her purchase and is going to serve her. Now, so if you need to value the product or offer that you have, understand the value of it from her perspective. That's the other part. When I say know the value of what you have, so many miss the mark here because they think, "Oh, I know the value of what I have." It's, and they start telling me all the features of the product. No, I want you to tell me, I want you to know why I want to value it. I want you to know me so well that when you tell me about your product, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how does she know? I need sleep and digestion, and I have this and I have that. I need what you have. Yes. So the first part of the sales process is you knowing the value of the product or offer that you have and the value of you. Now, if you are unsure of the value of you, maybe you're still stuck in the orphan mindset. Maybe you're feeling really downtrodden these days and have a low self-esteem. Don't try to sell from that place. And girlfriend, pick yourself on up. Get yourself in God's word and remember who he says you are. Know your value. Walk in the truth of who you are and what you carry and show up with excellence to serve and love that customer or client. So knowing the value is the first step in the sales process. The second step in the sales process is beginning to communicate the value that you have. Now, so this is offering, or I like to really use the word here, inviting. So the invitation process for whatever you have of value is longer depending on two things. One, the price, and two, how well they know you. So if I have a high ticket offer, it's going to take someone longer to know me and trust me to be willing to buy that offer. That just makes complete sense, right? However, sometimes some of you are moving into a sales conversation long before the person is ready. So you need to nurture in the invitation process. So really, this the values the first step, and nurturing in the invitation process is the second. So you're inviting them to know more about this valuable thing that you have. How do you do that? Well, we have the gift of social media, and you might be like, or the curse of social media. Well, if your mindset is negative about social media, which is the lead generating vehicle that you've chosen to connect with people, that's an issue right there. You need to get free of that. You need to deal with that at a deeper level and get free. Because if you're trying to use a vehicle to serve clients, invite them to get to know you, and you're mad at the vehicle, you got to deal with that. And I just say that in love. Okay. So you're inviting them, you're nurturing them. So if you have a warm group of people, meaning they know you, they already trust you, you can invite them at a little quicker pace into this, to knowing about this valuable thing that you have. Now, how do you invite them to know more? Well, the first thing you're doing with your social media is you're putting out parts and pieces of the story, right? You understand the story in relation to your customer, not your story. I say that in love. Your story is important, but quite frankly, it's how your story will resonate with her that's really important. Because remember, what did Jesus ask us to do? Serve first. And if I'm serving first, then it's her heart that I'm wanting to serve. So I want to tell my story in a way that's going to invite her, break down her walls, invite her to see herself in the story so that she can have hope that whatever I've experienced in my transformation, in this valuable thing that I have here in my hand, she too can experience that. So I'm inviting her. Now, you can invite just through social media posts, videos, stories, reels, a YouTube channel, a podcast. You can use all of these vehicles to invite women in. You can use one on one conversations in Messenger. You can use a Zoom where you're going to invite a group of women in. There are many, many, many but options, but the process is still the same. You are inviting her to get to know you, to taste and see. Usually, this is a free invitation. Again, depending on price point, if it's a high ticket offer, maybe it's a low ticket price point, maybe you're giving a lot of value. But this is the journey. Now, some of you are going to be like, oh, I don't like this word. But the sales process is a funnel. And before there were automated funnels, there's just all it is steps, people. Don't let the words trigger you. This is just the steps. Know the value, communicate the value, invite into a connection, a real connection with those who are expressing interest, offer, and onboard your customers who say yes. That's the process. That's the funnel. Are there tons of nuances in all of that? Of course. But the only way is to get started. Some of you are like, well, I'm already starting, but you probably have a bottleneck somewhere in your process. That's okay. You're supposed to figure it out and pivot. Try something new. But the process is, this sales process is know your value and the value of what you offer and the value of who you are. Start marketing from that posture of value and belief and trust and hope that she too can experience the transformation that you've experienced. Continue to share, inviting her when she's ready into a closer relationship, and then offering. Now, and then onboarding. So you offer and then you onboard into a relationship depending on what the product is. I mean, if it's a lipstick, that relationship's going to be a little bit smaller than if it's a 90-day program where we're going to work on this done with you project. And at the end, you're going to experience da 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 da, right? Okay. So now in the sales process, the biggest place we get tripped up is in focusing on the outcome. As soon as you start putting your focus on the outcome, you've fallen into performance anxiety. You've fallen into self idolatry. I'm only going to be okay if I make X, if I get the sale at the end, if I get a lot of sales at the end. If I don't, I'll be crushed because somehow it will mean that I have failed, that I'm not worthy, that I'm broken, that I did something wrong. See the self idolatry in all of this? If you show up needing an outcome financially, it's the sharks can smell the blood in the water and it's a turnoff. You want to be excited about your offer, genuinely wanting to serve, genuinely believing she's going to experience with your product or journey with you, that she's going to experience the transformation that you have, knowing that she will, wanting to pour into her. And then, but as much as I believe this, you have to believe it. You have to want it. And for those of you who do, I have a spot open for you, right? Excitement, hope. She wants what you have. No pushing, no salesy, no manipulating. Truth, honesty, passion, excitement, hope, belief. So there's your sales process. It's actually a funnel. And you can as you grow your business, whether that is a direct sales coaching business, whether that is just a product oriented business, whether you are a full-time coach and you want to scale your coaching business and add parts and pieces into that process, fabulous. But the core principles of the sales process doesn't change. All right, guys, check out how you can connect with us in the show notes and stick around for our very last episode in our sales series. We have two more. We have two more actually. I'm going to be hosting one more with you privately, and that's all about this not being salesy and pushy. We're going to get very tactical and specific on that. And then our last episode together, I'm bringing in a guest, an expert in sales, and she's going to be a Christian expert in sales, and she's going to be such a blessing to you. So don't miss that one.